when it comes to a match like this. So it's a best of 9. Spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map, it's Bomber. Always a pleasure to watch him play. And in the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's DRG the Zerg, aka DongRaeGu. So both these guys have had their time in the sun, and both of them are just such Starcraft legends. It's awesome to have these show matches, and I'm just glad to see so many of you guys are tuning on in to want to catch this match. Okie dokie, so it's a best of 9. We'll see how it's going to go. We've got all the 9 maps. Loser pick format. But we'll see. Will we just have some classic games like this? I'm seeing in chat someone saying, anyone know how high their MMR is? I believe they're both around 6 to 6.2k. So yeah, they're fairly around the same level, a high level, that's for sure. So I mean, they're both grinding out pretty hard, I think. I mean, Bomber even tried to qualify for IEM. DongRaeGu, I know he just got back off from vacation, and so I thought that this would just be a fun match. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll play a show match, and I've wanted to have Bomber in one since I heard that he was back around playing. I'm just a sucker for old Starcraft pros, but as far as this game goes, very, very standard stuff. We've got Bomber, he's starting out with that Reaper. Then DongRaeGu just getting up his hatchery, getting up his spawning pool. The map is Automaton, so a bit of an odd one. It's not the most standard map in the world, but it doesn't lead to anything too crazy generally. And we'll see how this one's gonna go. I imagine we're just gonna see like a fair bit of like standard bio play. Like when you're fairly new back, you're probably not doing anything too crazy. Like I doubt we'll see Bomber go for something like mass speed banshees or something. I mean, I'm not gonna write anything off, but I mean, it would be great just to have a good old classic like Terran versus their bio Ling Bane matchup. Now Factory on the way for Bomber, getting up his second gas already. And then just diving on in with his Reaper and heading on out. Just toss that one grenade, knock the drones about, and then retreating on out. DongRaeGu has got his third base on the way. Starport's on the way for Bomber. Getting into that Hellion production, or so I imagine, and there he goes. So opening up, pretty standard these days, nothing too out there. We'll be curious to see if he goes for something like off this starport, whether it'll just be like a medivac. Oh, Bomber lost his Reaper. Then putting a quotation mark in chat. So both of them recognizing that, so Bomber making a bit of a mistake starting things off. I mean, yeah, we'll see. Liberator is on the way for Bomber. DongRaeGu getting up a Roach Horn, that sort of safety Roach Horn timing. And, yeah, so far we'll see what Bomber is able to get done. He started Stim, but then he actually canceled it, which is interesting, that's for sure. Makes me a little bit curious why he did that. There we go, he starts it again. I wonder what he was trying to get out. See a lot of people talking in chat, theorizing how this is gonna go, and this is exactly why we had to have this show match. Bomber versus DongRaeGu. Like, how do you even know what's gonna happen? Bomber's made the 6 Hellions, though. He's gonna be crossing across the map. He's also got his Liberator moving, so bit of just a standard 1-2 punch. Doesn't have the Reaper with this push, unfortunately, and DongRaeGu is making 6 roaches, so sort of the safety amount of roaches. And Bomber behind this, getting up his 3rd command center. Not the quickest 3rd CC in the world after all his Hellions, after his Stim, but still a 3rd CC nonetheless. And we'll see if Bomber reaches where he really wants to shine. He's hanging out with his Hellions for now. Liberator's coming in behind here. There's a Spore Crawler starting, but just starting, not yet done. We'll see how many drones this is going to kill off. 1, 2 so far. 3, and just 3 drones going down. Bomber dives on in with his Hellions. 5 drones have gone down so far. Looks like he's getting a 7th as well, and wants to get off 1 or 2 more shots. These Hellions are staying alive for a fair bit of time. Just wants to get off another shot. 10 drones have gone down in total. I mean, that wasn't great for DongRaeGu. Bomber maybe could have got a little bit more out of that, but still. Fair bit of damage getting done there. Now Bomber, he does have to hold on versus his counterattack. DongRaeGu may just be pulling the trigger. He's morphing a fair few Ravagers. Could be launching Corrosive Ballast with the tank out for Bomber. Gotta get that Marauder into that bunker, but he's gonna at least lose some supply depots. The Ravagers are gonna step forward. They're gonna actually just pick off that tank. The bunker's gonna need to be repaired. So DongRaeGu just sort of turning around and putting on his own bit of counter-aggression. Bomber has to get up a few more bunkers. And DongRaeGu is applying pressure to Bomber when he's just droning up back at home, so he's sort of just defending himself by being aggressive. He's getting up another tank, and the third CC for Bomber is to lift off. Liberator is set up. DongRaeGu just dropping Corrosive Ballast to Bomber. Gotta get those SCVs out of fire there. So a nice bit of counter-aggression. Bomber does have Stim Pack done though, so DongRaeGu wants to be sure not to overstay his welcome. Just with these Ravagers and Lings, but still getting a fair bit of damage done there with that counterattack. He's now getting up his double Evo, getting up his lair behind this, so DongRaeGu turning things around on Bomber. Not what he really wants to be dealing with when he wants to be powering up with his bio. And, Bomber though, he does have his 1-1 on the way. DongRaeGu got his 1-1 on the way, so their upgrades are equal at this point. And the Zerg player with his mech Ravagers are going on home. Another Liberator's moving across the map for Bomber. That is Liberator number 2. We'll see if it's able to get anything done. Liberator harassment good at any time. However, there's a Spore Crawler that's going to be moving down to the bottom of the map, at the bottom here. So Bomber's just got to turn that Liberator around, it looks like. And okay, here we go. DongRaeGu getting up a Spire and getting up his melee upgrades, whereas Bomber just playing the standard bio, guys. I'm getting excited here. Just a standard Terran versus DongRaeGu versus Bomber. And DongRaeGu is making a few Roaches. Seems to just be the defensive Roaches for now. Got the few Ravagers while he's getting up his Spire. Little Reconstitution on the way. Okay, now that third CC is up for Bomber, but of course his economy was delayed a little bit just by the fact that DongRaeGu killed off a few workers, denied a bit of mining, so Bomber's attack's going to be a little bit later than he'd like. So DRG is actually securing a 4th base with a little worry, it would seem. And then they're just getting up his Spire, and he's going to be a happy Zerg at this point in the game. Bomber's moving out though with 2 medivacs, got a fair few Marines in them. And gonna begin dropping. We'll see if he's able to get much done with this. Just flying right on over this creep though. So DongRaeGu definitely knows about this. Bomber's gonna need to turn that drop around. Gonna unload at this 4th base. Maybe wants to scan and clean up creep if he can do that, but not able to do so. And Bomber, yeah, just rebuilding his wall. Starting another wall here, which is always awesome to see. And just powering up. However, he's got to worry about the mutas that are going to be coming out of DongRaeGu. As mutas, I mean, they still fill their role, whether they're made not as much. They may just be able to jump on top of Bomber and pull him apart, or just really shut down any aggression that Bomber goes for. And so this is looking pretty good for the blue Zerg player right now. DRG just not taking any damage or anything like that. And then, yeah, just a nice standard opening that seems to be going well for him, having secured his 4th base. Just starting up a Baneling Nest now. And Bomber hanging around with his units, but those mutas are out now, and they're going to be crossing the map. There's no turrets or anything on the way for Bomber. He could just be getting completely blindsided by this, and being blindsided by mutas generally starts a snowball that you can't easily stop. So these mutas are now going to fly it into his main base, and the map's automaton. So Bomber, he's got to react to this perfectly. SCVs are running, Marines are being loaded into the main base with medivacs, but Bomber's losing a fair few units. He's got some more Marines at his 3rd base, making sure to cover that, but he's going to probably need to start some turrets at all of his bases, and there he goes. But DRG getting 11 SCVs. Those mutas really already getting a lot of work done. He's getting up an infestation pit, getting up another base, going to be mining at that gold. And okay, Muta's coming on in once more. The thing is, DongRaeGu with his control is just going to be able to bounce around. Turrets are set up. Liberators just gets nabbed off, but as long as DongRaeGu is willing to micro, he's probably going to be able to squeeze something out of these mutas. Bomber is powering up though. I mean, he's getting into 2-2. He's built up a large amount of bio. And we'll see. I mean, he's got tanks. He's just got so many Marines, actually. So Bomber's going to be going for it. DongRaeGu is lurking, though, with all of his lings. Might need a Widowmine. We'll see. Yes, he does. That Widowmine cleans up a lot of those lings. Bomber's got some reinforcements back here. Going to be able to clean up these lings, it looks like. So, good cleanup there for Bomber. And now, oh, 2 tanks actually going to be getting caught out. Bomber just wants to push out. He's really going for it, but I mean, it's mainly Marines here. 80 Marines for Bomber. Using a good chunk of his tanks, and he needs those tanks for AoE. But looks like he's still just planning on pushing. I mean, Bomber wants to be aggressive, but DongRaeGu is actually bringing it to him. No centrifugal hooks. DongRaeGu is pushing into Bomber. The Marines are now pursuing all of these banelings. Okay, centrifugal hooks finishes up, and they are going to retreat. Bomber's got to be careful not to overstep. This just makes me so nervous. 100 Marines when there's banelings on the map is always a little bit concerning for the Terran player. Bomber scans, sees the hive is on the way, so he knows that he's on the clock here. Gonna need to try and get something done. He's moving across the map with his tanks, with all of his Marines, whoever he has to retreat, because DongRaeGu's coming in with all of these banners, with all these Ravagers and Lings, and suddenly Bomber's being forced to turn around. It is not something that he wants to do, and so many SCVs are going to be getting blown up. The command center almost dies at this location, and a corrosive bile actually finishes it off. Bomber's actually going to catch all of these units, though. So shutting that down, I think Bomber's just got to go for it. There's not much else he can do. He's floating his main base over to get his economy back up, but he's got this huge army. However, time is not on the side of Bomber, so he's just going to have to go and really try and kill DongRaeGu. DongRaeGu planning up yet another counterattack. Bomber, I mean, he's just giving it his all. He's got to make this work. There's no doubt about it, but he's being turned around by these Ling counterattacks. Once again, has to send some of his Marines back. He's just got to get these tanks set up. I mean, DongRaeGu, oh yeah, he's just going to be going for it, and Bomber is not prepared for this. We're going to have to see some of those old-timey splits. Bomber splitting this army back, but there's so many Marines, but there's so many Banelings as well. Marines are actually dealing with the Banelings pretty darn well, so Bomber keeping the majority of his chunk alive. However, DongRaeGu had a burrowed Baneling in there. It's a massive connection. Kills off so much of Bomber's supply, and Bomber is still just coming on in here with all these Marines, but more Banelings or more Bomber is on creep. He's only got the 1 tank. I mean, he's killing off a base, but he is very, very committed right now. Just got to split these Marines, doing so pretty darn well. Bomber, I mean, his mechanics seem to be on point, but that burrowed Baneling for DongRaeGu was absolutely massive. And now DongRaeGu just trying to buy time. Bomber's got to split once more versus these Banelings. Does he have enough to hold on? Marine count is thinning out, but it's still pushing forward, just with a handful of Marines supported by a lot of medivacs, but there's more Banelings. Bomber's got to react. Eats a lot of Baneling hits, and then his third base is just under attack once more. So Bomber may have ran out of steam. DongRaeGu did what he needed to do. He held off the attack, and once again counterattacking with ferocity here as these Lings are killing off Bomber's already low number of SCVs. And just these Marines and medivacs are going to be in trouble. Bomber killed off the 4th base, but DongRaeGu has a 5th, so I mean, still on 4 bases. And Bomber just doesn't really have the economy to back this up, but that was crazy. Bomber just going for it, but that burrowed Baneling was so sick for DongRaeGu. Now, Ultras, though, are on the way. Chitinous Plating 3-3, going to be finished up for the Zerg player. Never a good sign for a Terran who's just making Marines, so Bomber's in a bit of a rough spot now. And oh, look at this, DongRaeGu using Burrow. I mean, Burrow's been around a long time, but DongRaeGu using it to great effect, just putting some Lings. Probably going to pop those up when he has time. Actually, as more Lings run on in, Bomber just can't catch a break from this harassment. DongRaeGu has just been relentless, and there's no doubt about it. I'd say that this is one hit in the game. And, oh man, now Bomber's moving across the map. The army supply, it's half that of DongRaeGu's, and there's Ultras out, guys. This is looking pretty rough for Bomber's 15 Banelings to get started, and I don't know, Bomber's gonna need a miracle, really, to make this work. He doesn't have any tanks. He's not even thinking of anti-Ultra, really. It's just gonna be Marines versus Ultras. DongRaeGu, he's got the stuff right now. It looks like this massive wave of Zerg is gonna crash forward. I think Bomber's gonna be done for. GG, DongRaeGu takes the first map. Okay, so what a show match to start things off. That first map was great. And the next pick is going to be Bombers. But no, thanks so much to everyone for tuning on into the Games Invitational number 13. This is probably going to be one of the last ones that happens, but no thanks. This is just awesome. Bomber versus DongRaeGu. Oh, hold on. Is the scene switcher not kicking in? Let me make sure that we take care of that. There we go. Should be better now. Okay, the map's going to be Port Alexander. But thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. As is tradition, in the downtime, it's always good to check out the Matcherino. We still got some codes to use up. Basically, it gives money to the players for free. Just with an exclamation mark Matcherino in chat, but no, we'll get on into the next game and get focused in on that as soon as we can. And we'll see. Can Bomber bring it back? Like, that game, like, Bomber wasn't playing bad, just DongRaeGu just pulled him apart. Okay, so here we go. Getting into the next map. Alright, it's a best of 9. Spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. It's DongRaeGu the Zerg. Oh, pardon me, I got that backwards. There we are. He's got himself a 1-0 lead. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. It's Bomber. Spam and bio, like he did in the old days, but DongRaeGu had his number there with the counterattacks. I don't know. Like, DongRaeGu just really capitalizing on that map. The third base that Bomber took, rather a vulnerable one. Lots of room for counter harassment. Like, say on a map like Port Alexander, might be more reasonable for Bomber to defend from counterattacks or things like that. We'll see how he's going to play it out this time. DongRaeGu is actually going for an early pool, though. So he's deciding to turn the aggression on a little bit. Overlord's going to be crossing the map, standard stuff, but DongRaeGu just going for one of those gasless early pools, so no crazy amounts of aggression or anything, but definitely going to be trying to catch his opponent off guard. And we'll see how Bomber is going to react to this, or what his opening build's really going to be. Will he keep his Reaper at home, or will he just run it across the map? Will he go right into a reactor? Is he up to date on the meta completely, that some cheeky Zergs will do this? Seeing a lot of fans for both these guys in chat, which is really awesome to see. I mean, there's a reason why we had to have this show match, Bomber versus DongRaeGu. Now, Lings are moving across the map here for DongRaeGu. Bomber does just start a Marine after this, so he's going to have that to help defend. He's got his one Reaper that's moving across the map. DongRaeGu is going to completely avoid that. And so Bomber is going to have to deal with this. I mean, 6 Lings dealing with it with one Marine is not an easy thing to do, but it's definitely doable. So these Lings are going to run on in. How will Bomber react? Well, for starters, we'll see. He's probably going to want to turn his Reaper around, perhaps. The SCV runs. Bomber's going to need to pull some SCVs, and there we go. He's got a fair few off the line. The Marine's the damage in this attack, but the SCVs are there to really buffer for that Marine, so the Lings can't pick it off. This is exactly what you need to do. Of course, DongRaeGu is doing a good job buying himself some time, but once that Reaper's back, Bomber should be fine. Needs to make sure these Lings don't attack, but DongRaeGu just playing it interestingly, just sort of not committing here. Gonna be chasing after this one SCV, not able to get any just yet, though. There we go, he gets one of them, but Bomber able to get everything up, it seems. Lost one SCV. Oh, gotta be careful not to lose another. Those Lings actually do pick off one more, and there's another injured one. Bomber having to run that SCV around, keeps it alive. So DongRaeGu getting two 2 SCVs, but I'd say the real value in that was disruption to Bomber's mining. I mean, Bomber pulled a lot of SCVs off the line, and DongRaeGu just going back and forth with the Lings back and forth. He was able to basically just deny Bomber from getting back to mining as quickly as he'd like. And so just getting... That was pretty good for DongRaeGu's opening. I mean, it wasn't like game ending or anything like that, but a nice bit of harassment. Yeah, the income really speaks volumes there. Ling speed is finished up for DongRaeGu now, so Bomber's got to be careful with his Reaper. He's going into Hellion production behind this, but no, yeah, Bomber just trying to get everything back on track, and he's actually going to be playing the Cloak Banshee as far as his tech of choice goes. Getting some Hellions up. DongRaeGu, though, getting up a Baneling Nest, getting up a lair. Makes me curious what he's planning. I mean, this is a rather early Baneling Nest, just at 4 minutes. I mean, defensive. Maybe he's expecting some aggression out of Bomber, and he very well may be right. These Hellions, they're going to intercept one of these Lings, but is it going to get the scout that it needs? And it looks like, oh, it actually does make it into the main base. This is huge for DongRaeGu. Gets on in. Confirms the Cloak Banshee. Does it see the armory? It even does see the armory, so DongRaeGu knows what Bomber is planning, which is going to be one of these 2-base Hellion Banshee attacks. He's got the Baneling Nest on the way, getting up Spore Crawlers at every base, so Bomber's going to be in a bit of trouble, and another Ling makes it in for DongRaeGu. Bomber raises the depot, but, I mean, that cat's already out of the bag on this one. Bomber may just be better to throw up a 3rd command center and act like he was never planning on going for this attack, or maybe just poke and prod with his Hellions, but we'll see if he's able to get anything done. DongRaeGu is making a few Banelings, he's getting up a few Lings, and just with the few Banelings, he should be able to take on 8 Hellbats. Hellbats are morphing. Bomber's going to need to split these up, or actually just decide to retreat. It looks like, yeah, he's got his 3rd CC on the way, got his barracks on the way. Not committing into failure there, and it looks like DongRaeGu is maybe going to get in here with some Lings. No, that is a tight wall. Doesn't quite look like it in that corner, but these Lings are not going to be able to get on in. Bomber's going to have to get back to defend this. Going to want to repair that supply depot to make sure those Lings can't get in. No one's coming yet, so Bomber actually going to lose the supply depot there. Lings for DongRaeGu going to get on in. Depots are raised, but still, DongRaeGu picking off the supply depot with a handful of Lings, so DongRaeGu just seems to be pretty darn crisp here in his plays. So what's Bomber going to be able to get done? I mean, in that last game, like, it was possible that he could have made that strong push work, but then the burrowed Baneling killed off so many of the Marines. That was actually such a sick burrowed Baneling. And yeah, now Stim Pack on the way for Bomber. 1-1 on the way, so he is going to be playing this bio style once again. There's no doubt about it. Going to be powering up. He's got his 3rd CC on the way. Whereas DongRaeGu getting up the Mutas. Keep in mind, the Mutas really hurt Bomber in that last game, and we'll see if he's prepared for it in this one. For now, though, he is just moving out with his Hellions. Going to be poking and prodding. I mean, he made so many Hellions, but of course he couldn't commit to the Hellbat attack. He'll probably use them in a later push, if I had to imagine. The Hellbats can always help on out. Also very good for the defense for counterattacks, which we know DongRaeGu loved in that last game. And Bomber looking to secure himself his 3rd base. Lings are moving out on the map for DongRaeGu. Look at this, he's just already thinking of counterattacks. He's very, very consistent with these. And another hatchery on the way for DongRaeGu. Meanwhile, Bomber actually came in with his Banshee. Killed off 2 drones, but nothing major. Now these Lings are going to be getting on in. Is Bomber going to react? No, the supply depot can't be raised in time because units are on top of it. Bomber has got to pull these back. Not losing too much to this counterattack. Looks like he'll actually be able to clean it up, no problem. Now, with that cleaned up, Bomber able to get his focus back. And the question is he preparing for Mutalisk? Looks like Bomber is making a Widow Mine. It would be cool to see him play sort of like Drilling Clawed Mines, or whether he'll go back into tank production. That's the question. But Mutas are now out. Bomber's got to prepare for this. Loses 2 SCVs. DongRaeGu has 9 Mutas out. I don't believe they're all there. Some are rallying back home. The rest of them are going back home. As Bomber's just going for a push, bringing these Hellbats. Got a tank in here. Got a lot of Marines. He's going for a very early push. He's going to have 1-1, so he's actually got a massive upgrade advantage right now. DongRaeGu doesn't quite have it. Bomber's really just going for it, but he's got to be careful on creep versus all of these bases. He's got a good Marine split. absorbing all of these banelings. Bomber's kiting back. However, it looks like there may be enough mutas to clean this up. Bomber does have to bail on out. Yeah, just got to evacuate. DongRaeGu having enough for the defense there, shutting down Bomber's attack. And oh, a few banelings. What were they doing there? Bomber does clean them up, though. Now, 2-2 is on the way for Bomber, so he's looking to extend that upgrade lead, but DongRaeGu bought himself some time. He's secured up his 4th base. Well, relatively uncontested at this point. Bomber getting up a wall to defend from run-bys at this location, which is something I definitely love to see because DongRaeGu is so continuous with his counterattacks. Now, Bomber, he's planning on moving out with his bio once again. He's got some Marines, just got a Widow Mine, and he's starting Drilling Claws, so it is going to be that bio mine style. Might be a bit early for him to push out. Counterattacks moving on in. These Marines are having a micro to stay alive. A Widow Mine does connect. Those things do all get cleaned up, though, so nothing too bad for Bomber there. He's staying sort of happy on his 3 bases. DongRaeGu is looking to secure up a 5th. And 2-2 is on the way for both players. Bomber with a bit of a lead on that, but got to be prepared to deal with these mutas. You're now harassing at his 3rd base. Mutas for DongRaeGu are being rather passive here, just planning on dealing with any sorts of harassment. Bomber's moving forward, scanning on creep. Gotta be very careful because this isn't his whole army, so he doesn't want to be taking a fight just yet with this force. DongRaeGu's planning up yet another counterattack. I mean, this wall is going to be working wonders, but there we go. Banelings are morphing. However, Bomber, I mean, he's got 2 walls, so I mean, he might just be fine with this. Now, Widow Mines are getting set up. Bomber's starting to move forward. That Drilling Claws is now finished up. And Bomber's planning on pushing in as DongRaeGu is planning yet another counterattack. Bomber is moving in, cleaning up some of the creep. Gotta be careful to take the right engagement here. He's now retreating. DongRaeGu is actually being baited in. A fantastic Widow Mine shot there going down on DongRaeGu's army. However, this counterattack's going on in. Lings have found their way in. Bomber with a lot of bio, though, and he's got an upgrade advantage. Should be able to clean this up. Able to continue focusing on this push, that means. Now, Bomber, I mean, he's still out on the edge of creep, hasn't been able to push his way into DongRaeGu. His upgrade lead is going to be disappearing now. I mean, he had a bit of a window there, but it unfortunately is closed. Actually, DongRaeGu is going for it right now. Bomber's having to kite back, got his Marauders in position to absorb those banelings as the Marines retreat. Now Bomber's stepping forward. He's got a massive link counterattack that's coming on in. Lots of Widow Mines are going off, not getting the connections Bomber wants. He's got units in his main base that need to get on out and get on down there. There we go. The depot gets lowered, but Bomber is forced to retreat. DongRaeGu with another one of these lethal counterattacks coming off SCVs. Bomber will clean this up from the seam of things, but DongRaeGu getting a lot of damage done with that counterattack. And just keeping Bomber off of his back. I mean, it's just defense by proxy, really going for your own aggression. Now, these mutas are still sharking around, and look at this, another counterattack being planned. Bomber's got to fix this wall up, but maybe he just needs like a bunker or something, but he still wants to take this aggression. Gotta be careful not to fail, and does eat him pretty badly there. Got another Widow Mine in the mix, but not getting the shot that he wants. Bomber is retreating. DongRaeGu is going forward onto Widow Mines. Eats the connection there. Some banelings get cleaned up. Another lane counterattack is actually being intercepted this time around. I mean, Bomber hasn't fallen apart this game. He's able to keep moving. I mean, he's going to be starting to mine out soon and going to eventually need a 4th base and run out of gas, but he's still pushing in for now. He's up on army supply. He's moving on into DongRaeGu. Widow Mines are in reposition, getting forward. DongRaeGu is bleeding off some units forward. He's focused on the counterattacks once again. Bomber's trying to clean this up while keeping his push going. DongRaeGu's rolling on in, though. Bomber, I mean, he's got a lot of bio standing here still, but is it enough for DongRaeGu to clean everything up? There's a lot of these mutas still in the air. Widow Mines are getting off some pretty fantastic connections, so his Bomber able to keep it going, though. He's got more reinforcements rallying across the map. I mean, he can't really let this push falter. He needs to keep it going. He's still up on army supply, but I mean, time really isn't on his side. Ultralists are on the way. Chitinous plating about to finish up, but DongRaeGu does not have them just yet. So Bomber, he may be able to keep pushing. He just needs to keep whittling down the Zerkler before he really reaches significant mass. Now these Marines are fighting back. Good Widowmine connection there on the army. There's still enough Marines to handle the Mutas, so they have to retreat. But can Bomber keep this push going? He's heading towards the 5th base. DongRaeGu is forced to abandon it. There's just not that much bio for Bomber. Some reinforcements are coming on in, though. DongRaeGu is going to be losing his 5th base as Bomber is just rallying across the map. Looks like drones are taking a long way as there's this base to the north, but Bomber's just focused on killing DongRaeGu now. He's got tons of Widowmines. He's up on supply. He's moving forward. There's really no banelings for DongRaeGu, but there are these ultras now. Bomber has to retreat. Marauder's taking one for the team as they absorb these units. Fantastic Widowmine connection, cleaning out some of the banelings, and it looks like there's just the 2 ultras, but they're going to be getting cleaned out. Is Bomber going to be able to do it as he pushes across the map? DongRaeGu's been playing his heart of keeping these mutas alive and microing them. He's got a few more banelings roll forward, but they're not quite able to do it. These mutas are now falling to the Marines. They're trading out the best they can, but Bomber, I think he may have been able to do it. His bio is so overstimmed. DongRaeGu just really needs to amass to clean this up. Bomber is very overstimmed. He's kiting back to the best of his ability, but he may just need to evacuate. And if DongRaeGu cleans this up, a hold is still within reason. Bomber's rallying across the map. A few more units. It's just a trickle for Bomber. He's floated over his main base to get his economy on track again. His Marines are trading on out. He's got the +3 attack, but everything does end up getting cleaned up, so Bomber needs to sort of consolidate a little bit and then go for another push, but he was so close to killing DongRaeGu. And oh man, Bomber, I mean, he kept that push going for a time, but DongRaeGu has bought himself a little bit of time to breathe. He's able to make some banelings, some ultras. His economy is definitely still better than that of Bomber. Bomber's floated over this command center to keep it going. He's now even floating over his natural base since that even mined out. But now Bomber, I mean, he's trying to secure this 4th base up, but DongRaeGu has been relentless with his counterattacks. He's going to be looking for another one in this 4th base. It's going to be mighty exposed. Bomber's going to need a bunker or something to keep it safe, because the second he moves out, DongRaeGu is going to be on it, with Lings already getting into position. What a game. Anabolic Synthesis on the way, so DongRaeGu getting that Ultralisk speed upgrade for when they're off creep. Bomber's in position to intercept this counterattack. I mean, he knows DongRaeGu has been a fan of these. And more Ultras on the way, 3-3 on the way. And time isn't really on Bomber's side. His economy isn't fantastic. And look at this, DongRaeGu, he's attacking to the left side. So those SCVs are going to need to run on out of there. Bomber, I mean, he tried to make his push happen, but after a close game, I think DongRaeGu is in a very good position right now. He's able to force Bomber off really one of his last mining critical bases. He's equaling up the army supply, and he's got those ultras, so Bomber may just need to go for a bit of a Hail Mary right now. DongRaeGu is pulling back. Those Bombers crossing the map, heading towards this base. Looks like he may just try and pick this off. He's on creep though. Bomber needs to be very careful. He's got 2 medibacks, but that's not enough to evacuate all these units, so Bomber's going to be taking a loss with this bio force. There's no doubt about it. Going to be trading on out. He's going to need to lift up and evacuate, and he's just down to 37 SCVs, so Bomber, I mean, he really was going for just like a 3 base all in, and this game kept on going. Parasitic Bomb actually picks off one of the medibacks. Does it get a second? Not quite. DongRaeGu, I mean, he's just kept enough bases up. He's done a good job keeping his economy going. He hasn't really missed a beat. I mean, it was looking a little dicey from that push there, but as Bomber's just building up this bio, DongRaeGu, he's got up Infestors, he's got up Ultralisk. Bomber's up on supply, and I mean, he's going to have an upgrade rig, so now he's going to be taking the fight off creep, so he's going to have the Titan Ultras doing a good job, picks off one of them. Fungal's not getting the connections that DongRaeGu wants. Bomber's now moving across the map, and there's no counterattacks queued up this time. So, I mean, Bomber is focusing solely on this attack. He's going to be moving in. Got to be careful to dodge the Infestors, but he's up on supply. If he can take the perfect fight, maybe he can make something happen. He's just fighting back versus these Ultra Parasitic Bomb and Fungal Bros combo, though. These medibacks are going to be getting absolutely shredded. Bomber's bio count is rapidly falling. The Fungal ties up those units. This bio army is fighting back. There's just a few Ultralisks left. And Bomber's army is going to be getting cleaned up. He's tried his best, but GG, DongRaeGu, 2 solid, takes map number 2. Bomber, I mean, he's just trying to make that bio work, but DongRaeGu just playing very, very well, it would seem. I mean, what a fantastic game, though. Bomber almost able to make it work, but not quite. That's what I was hoping for with this show match. And Thanks so much to everyone for tuning on in. Okie dokie. So we'll find out what the next map is. And as is usual during the downtime, guys, if you're enjoying this content, feel free to hit that follow button. I'm pretty much casting like any tournament that I can that is doable for me. But yeah, I'll still be streaming every now and then here and there. And of course, make sure to check out my YouTube and whatnot. Alright, we'll get everyone on into the lobby. I mean, close games, or the second game was really close. But ultimately, Bomber not quite able to make it happen. Make sure to check out that Matcherino, guys. As we still got a fair few codes to use up. Basically, you just, if you have a Twitch account, you click on it, you type in games13, and it contributes to the prize pool. But we're loading into the next map. Thanks so much to everyone for tuning in. Seeing a lot of follows coming in after that, which is great to see. Thanks so much for supporting the channel, guys. Alright, but it's a best of 9. Spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. He's got himself a solid lead, but he had to work for it in that last game. It's DongRaeGu the Zerg. Seems very well put together as far as his playstyle goes. Like, those counterattacks were just so consistent. Now, up in the top right-hand side of the map, it's Bomber. I'm excited to see both these guys try out for the GSL. I imagine they both will. Whether they'll make it, that's up for debate. But, I mean, I'd say they both got a solid chance, right? Okie dokie. Now, keep in mind, in that last game, DongRaeGu opened up with an early pool. We'll see if he does that again. Doesn't look like it, though. So, just getting up that hatchery. The map is Surlin Fall. So, one of the bigger ones. Okay. Overlord crossing the map. Then we'll see. I mean, I imagine Bomber, like, he's confident just with the bios, with like the continuous mass bio, and I mean, he almost made it work. He came together with his sort of defense from the counterattacks, like, and then, but he just took a little bit too much damage. I guess his economy wasn't enough to propel him forward. Like, we saw, like, both those guys, they were down to like 20, 30 army supply for a time, and it was close. Okay, now DongRaeGu. Just getting out his handful of lings, mining gas, starting his speed. Does he pull out of the gas or does he keep mining it? Keeping mining that, so probably going to want a fairly quick lair. Either that or like a quick baneling nest or something like that. But still mining that. And then Bomber comes on in with his Reaper. We're going to be seeing this micro. Reaper throws the grenade, disrupts the drones a little bit, and then Bomber gets on out. Pneumatized Carapace is on the way for DongRaeGu. Meanwhile, Bomber just hanging out with his Reaper. I mean, he's checking out for a third base, but DongRaeGu not getting it just yet. As some Zergs do go for that early third, but DongRaeGu taking his time, being very patient. Pneumatized Carapace is on the way. So DongRaeGu gonna have that very early scout to identify what Bomber's going for. It's gonna be a Liberator. Looks like Stim as well. So pretty standard opening here. And that generally means there's gonna be a fairly quick third command center on the way for Bomber. Reaper's gonna be getting caught, so nice pick on for DongRaeGu. DRG getting up his third base. It's not the quickest third base in the world, which is worth noting. I mean, he got Pneumatized Carapace first, but now he's getting both his Evos on the way, as he scouted what Bomber was going for. No early Banshee or anything to worry about, really. However, these Hellions are going to be putting on the pressure, and there's Bomber getting up that third command center. Getting up his barracks, so just playing 3cc bio here. Getting in with these Hellions. The third base isn't done just yet, though. One on the way for DongRaeGu, so very quick upgrades out of the Zerg player, whereas Bomber's just starting his Evo chambers, so DongRaeGu delayed his third base, got very quick 1-1 on the way, so sort of changing up how he macros up right now and going for a counterattack already. He is wasting no time. As this happens, the Bomber nabs up 5 drones in total. Is that Liberator in position? There it is. Yeah, that's the thing that's getting all the kills. 9 drones have gone down. No, DongRaeGu's harassing here, but Bomber's just got to repair these depots, and he should be fine. And in total, Bomber getting 9 drones with this harassment. Liberator should be able to nab up maybe 1 or 2 more. Got to reposition to get on out of there, but Bomber, a nice bit of harassment getting done. 9 drones this early on is pretty significant when DongRaeGu wasn't completely rushing into a strong economy as well. Now this Liberator's still sharking about, just trying to avoid that Queen. Going to be able to position himself at that natural, maybe be able to get a few more drones. DongRaeGu's busy microing there, and losing 2 more drones to this Liberator, so this Liberator at 10 kills, that's no small amount. It will be shut down, but Bomber getting a nice bit of damage done considering the fact that he went for a fast third command center. It's not like he was really committing to the aggression. Now DongRaeGu will have his 1-1 done much quicker than that of Bomber's. Bomber will eventually equal things up, but DongRaeGu does have a significant lead in that regard. No 4th base for the Zerg player just yet, as Bomber's already securing his 3rd, so economy-wise, Bomber's not in a bad spot at all. Worker count's actually pretty equal just after Bomber killed that many. And there we go, there's the 4th base on the way for DongRaeGu. Looks like that one might have been a bit off position and he had to cancel and replace. No, Lings are still hanging around. Bomber may be planning on moving out here soon, but he does have to be cautious of the counterattacks. Look at this, DongRaeGu just has Ling sitting in his back pocket, just waiting to get a nice counterattack going. And we'll see if Bomber's prepared to deal with something like this. There we go. I mean, he's going to be going out maybe for a bit of a timing. Bomber's got 1-1 finished up. DongRaeGu is moving in with a counterattack already, and oh man, this is a lot of Lings. Is Bomber prepared? He's got Bio. He's got Widowmines at his 3rd base, so he should be prepared for this. Lings are going to get on this. Bomber lifts up. Widowmine does the other mine get off. Gets an instant connection. Bomber's still going to be taking a bit of damage, though. Marines are trading out, but SCVs are holding for the fight, so Bomber going to be losing at least a few SCVs. However, he's now able to push into the 4th base of DongRaeGu, who doesn't have centrifugal hooks just yet, so these Banelings are going to engage in very slowly. Lings trying to get us around on these siege tanks, and they do manage to do that. This Bio should just be able to kite back over the Banelings, getting at least a decent connection. Bomber focus firing down some of those units, but in the end, DongRaeGu's counterattack gets a bit of damage done, and he manages to keep his 4th base alive. It was close, but Bomber not quite able to get what he wanted done. Bomber's coming on in for another attack. There's not many Banelings here from the looks of it. Bomber getting a nice trade, intercepting some Lings that were moving out on the map. Gotta be careful with his Bio since there's actually a few Banelings rolling forward now. Good splits from Bomber, it would seem though. Gonna try and nullify those Banelings. Is there enough Lings to deal with this still? The Medivacs are healing as best as they can. The few Marines are trading out. Bomber just, these trades are always so equal, but in the end, DongRaeGu managing to repel his opponent. No more counterattacks are planned for DongRaeGu, so Bomber can just keep parading across the map. He's getting up a 4th CC as well this game, which is notable. He never built a 4th in that crazy last game. But so Bomber really saying, all right, yeah, we can take this a little bit slower. I'm not just going to go right into this. Now, let's see. Ling's in the middle of the map. DongRaeGu wanting to get a bit of a counterattack up. Bomber's got a wall at his 3rd, but that's not going to protect the Lings coming head on in as they dive on in once more. There's a Widowmine. Will they get a good connection? Kills up a fair few of the Lings, so Bomber's reinforcements may be able to deal with this. Some more Widowmines rallying forward. Bomber needs to burrow those if he's going to deal with those Lings. Mines are going to burrow. They should become some of those Lings, but Bomber's taking a bit of damage and actually needs to pull his whole army back to deal with this counterattack. So a very nice move by DongRaeGu, but Bomber, I mean, he does get up his 4th command center. And he now has his 2-2 done, so they're equal on upgrades once more. 3-3 starting for Bomber, so he's actually going to be the player looking for that upgrade lead now. I feel as if Bomber builds a bunker, it would save him so much trouble. But of course, that pulls units out of your overall attack. Bomber's now stepping forward. Got Drilling Claws continuing on with his bioproduction. Baneling's crashing on in towards the 3rd base. Bomber, though, reacting in time. Those supply depots give enough of a heads up. DongRaeGu just tearing down that wall. Call him Reagan, right? That's who did that. But now DongRaeGu, he's got up Vipers, which have been very good at killing off Bomber's massive medivac clump, but they're not out just yet. Bomber's stepping forward. He's got a few mines in this. Gotta be careful not to get too many Baneling connections to it. He steps on 3, loses a few of his units. He's still got 1 or 2. He's still got 1 Widow Mine in here to dissuade the Zerg from really committing right on top of him. Bomber's taking a trade right in the center. Bomber's got to be careful, got to lift up his actually. That Widowmine gets a decent connection, but there's a lot of Zerg here. Bomber should have some more supply somewhere, and there it is. There's the rest of his bio that's going to be moving on down. I mean, he's on 4 base production, so he should be able to keep this going for a while. A Widowmine's going to be getting a bit of a connection, but DongRaeGu, fantastic reaction. Just perfectly pulls off to avoid that Widowmine. He's looking real good, guys. These SCVs are having to retreat as these Lings are getting into this 3rd base. DongRaeGu is consistent with his counter-harassment. Lings are going to be getting forced back, but in the end, just pulling Bomber back and buying himself more time. DongRaeGu is playing very, very well. And these Lings, once again, going for another counterattack, and Bomber, he's just not been able to sort of put pressure onto DongRaeGu. Every time that he moves out, DongRaeGu is consistent with his counterattacks. It looks like that he may be bringing this force back to go for a big surround here. Bomber's got a lot of bio, but not a lot of Widowmines with this, so he's going to need fantastic spreads. How many Banelings is there, though? There's only 9 up for DongRaeGu, so it's mainly just Lings here. However, some Banelings do roll forward, do get pretty decent connections. Medivacs eating parasitic bombs, splitting them off, though, but Bomber is forced back in the end. More of his bio is moving across the map, though. He's still up on supply, and he has been consistently in this game, but he just hasn't been able to get anything done to DongRaeGu of significance. The Liberators are moving forward, though. They're going to be able to help get set up, help this out, pick off some Banelings maybe as they roll forward. But Bomber has now taken a bite out of DongRaeGu. He's really committing to this one. DongRaeGu doesn't have that much Ling Bane. I mean, he's trading out, but Bomber, I mean, he's got himself a solid position right now, set up with Liberators, mines he can retreat. He needs a lot of Baneling connections there, though, as he bleeds off a chunk of supply. Liberators are moving forward, though. They're going to be getting set up on these bases. Actually, a parasitic bomb goes down on actually both of them. Not the most efficient way to deal with Liberators, but Bomber getting some damage done. However, once again, there's a Ling counterattack. DongRaeGu is relentless, and Bomber's down to 48 workers, and look at this. DongRaeGu he stops Bomber right at his front once again. Widowmine's getting actually a pretty decent connection on those Lings. An Overseer should be on the way to help clean them up, but Bomber's coming in once more. And if he can save these mines, that would be very nice. There's another counterattack going off at the 3rd base. Bomber can't really afford to take a hit to his economy like this. He's reacting, pulling Marines in here to deal with these Lings, so saving that's very important. And then trying to continue this push moving forward. Widowmine's going to be connecting. DongRaeGu, good section off, but here comes in Bomber once more. He's up on supply. He's actually very up on supply. DongRaeGu's been trying to tech up. Bomber wants that base that he hasn't been able to take. Lifts up into his medivac, but needs to unload because there's a parasitic bomb on them. And so far, DongRaeGu not dying just yet. He's surviving. He's hanging on. He's also counterattacking as this is going on. Bomber is just being forced to commit here. His medivacs are going down to this parasitic bomb. And now Bomber, though he wants to push in, there's no banelings here, but DongRaeGu is going to have a Ultralisk or two soon. Widowmines are going to be able to move forward and get set up. Bomber, if he can even just pick off this base, that would be very nice for him. A lot of bio comes on in, and DongRaeGu actually taps out, not able to make the hold happen. GG gets called as Bomber able to put one on the board. We've got a series on our hands, and what a crazy game this series is delivering. Okay, next map's going to be Parasite. This series, though, I'm really glad that this match is shaping up. Loving to see Bomber just spam this bio, guys. I'm going to be honest, I miss this sort of play. Like, there was a time in which pretty much every game was like this. And I miss it a little bit. But, no, what a fantastic series. And I've seen some follows come on in. Thanks so much for following the channel, guys. If you're enjoying the match, make sure to do that. And also, once again, check out that match arena. I pretty much say it at the end of every game. It's completely free. We want to use up all those codes. Games number 13. I know it's an unlucky number, but it's been a great match so far, so can't really complain. And both players are ready, so here we go. Getting into the next map. Alright, here we are. It's a best of 9. Spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, it's DongRaeGu. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's Bomber, and he looks like he's going for a bit of a proxy. Seeing a lot of talk and chat about old pro gamers and stuff like that, just the nostalgia train is flowing. Oh, look at this though, Bomber, does he see the drone, and did DongRaeGu see the SCV? He might have. What's DongRaeGu doing? Is he gonna proxy hatch Bomber? Bomber throws up his barracks, but DongRaeGu's gonna see this. This is actually not looking good for Bomber. Oh, actually, wait. Does this wall this off? Do these two barracks completely seal this? DongRaeGu is committing to the proxy hatchery despite Bomber going for the barracks. And now we'll see. I mean, this is going to play out interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this. DongRaeGu was planning on putting on the aggression, so we have sort of a double proxy in this game. Now, Bomber's moving forward with his SCV. I mean, that Overlord flew right over, so Bomber knows that DRG knows. DRG getting up his spawning pool. I mean, he went hatchery first in a sense. Bomber's going to come on in here, see the lack of hatchery. He saw that, did he see the drone? So he should know that this is going to be a proxy hatchery or something. Either that or DongRaeGu was just hanging around, but this Marine that's looking around for a base. Bomber's a little bit mystified right now, as he's got Marines heading in every direction, and Bomber's just planning on transitioning out of this. DongRaeGu got his hatchery that's going to be getting up. He's starting a queen, getting up a roach warren, so he's really going to be committing to this aggression. This Marine's going to catch this Overlord, but is it going to distract Bomber from the true threat, which is this proxy hatchery? Roaches are soon going to be on the way for DongRaeGu, who's been mining up gas, and Bomber's got all of his production out in the middle of the map. Oh, he must have actually canceled one of the barracks, pardon me. He's got 2 barracks heading on home now. This Marine will spot this hatchery, so he's going to know that he's getting rushed Bomber, and he doesn't have a lot of units right now. He started a command center before he started his factory, so he needs to mine up enough gas to get that on the way and then start a bunker, I think. Every Marine matters for Bomber too. He's literally just got 4 Marines to his name. Gonna try and chase out this Queen, but Bomber needs a bunker. There's no doubt about it. Lings are coming forward. This is a lot of aggression coming out of DongRaeGu. Yeah, Bomber just taps out. 3-1 lead for DongRaeGu. A bit of a odd setup there, as DongRaeGu managing to come out on top. GG gets called. Okay, so next map is going to be Bomber's pick. Bit unfortunate to drop a map like that, but what can you do? Both those guys planning aggression, and worked out a little bit better for DongRaeGu. Thanks so much to everyone who's tuning on in. I know it's early on the West Coast. A lot of people from all over the world watching, though. Next map's going to be Kairos Junction. Okay, we're getting everyone on into the game. This has been a great show match, so I'm really glad that this is turning out. Looks like both players are going to be ready, and we'll get right on into the game. Okay, we'll get on into the next map now, Kairos Junction. Spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's Bomber. And his opponent in the top left, it's DongRaeGu. The score currently is 3-1 for DRG. I mean, Bomber's been putting up a fight, and he shows that he can take those sort of scrappier games. Really coming into form here, not taking too much damage in that map on Surlin from counterattacks and whatnot, and able to fall DongRaeGu. But we'll see if he's able to bring it back. A few follows come on Twitch, by the way. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. And if you guys happen to be watching the VOD on YouTube and you've made it this far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Okay. Overlord moving across the map for DongRaeGu. Then just getting up his hatchery after his spawning pool, so he's going to be going for this bit of early aggression once again. Had a fair bit of success the last time he did it. Overlord's moving across the map. Just getting into position there where it's going to hang on out. Dictus with the 4-month subscription. This guy has been subscribing since I started doing these show matches. I think he subbed during the first show match. Thank you so much for the subscription. Just awesome to see that you enjoy these matches. Now Bomber, he actually kept his Reaper at home, so not having to worry about these Lings. And keeps this Reaper back home, so not falling for it. So DongRaeGu not getting anything done with his early opening, but that opening's not the biggest commitment in the world. However, the commitment is the Roach follow-up. So DongRaeGu planning on hitting Bomber hard, and Bomber did delay his Reaper move out, so he's going to run right into these Roaches and is going to need to react. We're going to need to see a bunker, a second bunker, I feel, as well, is going to be equally important. SCVs are being pulled into the main base. That Reaper trying to make it in there does manage to. But DongRaeGu is bringing the heat here onto Bomber. Gonna need to raise that depot, get those units behind there. Feelings are in here. They're just gonna be a bit of a buffer until this bunker gets up. Bomber needs to make sure that bunker's building. That's why I said he needs a second bunker, because DongRaeGu able to fall that one, and suddenly the Terran player is in a fair bit of trouble. These Marines don't have a lot of damage versus these Roaches and Ravagers. DongRaeGu morphing the injured one as well, able to try and keep that alive. Does get picked off though. The command center for Bomber on the low ground, that needs to be raised, but it's not going to. DongRaeGu actually kills off the command center. And Bomber was going 3cc, but that is a massive blow to the Terran player as DongRaeGu picks off the command center. And oh, Bomber probably would have held that if he didn't keep that CC alive, but oh, now he's in trouble. Oh man, that really hurt. Oh, that's a blunder. DongRaeGu just saying, all right, I'll kill off your command center. And it worked wonders for him, because Bomber, he was repairing that reactor, not letting the Zerg player in. And it looks like he had been prepared to hold it, but Bomber, this rush isn't completely over. There's all these Lings and units still lurking about. Bomber moves out with his Reaper. I mean, DongRaeGu committed to that, guys. There's no doubt about it. He didn't even have a queen on his natural till recently, and he's just droning up, but still, if Bomber had that command center, that would have been, GG most likely. And he's still not in a terrible spot. He's got this other command center popping up soon. Worker count's pretty even, and he's going to have his third CC on the way. Going to have Bio on the way, Stim. Imagine if Bomber had that CC up right now. Oh, DongRaeGu's looking to come on in here. Bomber's unsieged on the low ground. Lings are looking to wrap around. SCVs are going to need to be pulled into this fight. Bomber's actually in a lot of trouble right now. A few Marines are popping out. Can these Lings clean everything up though? Bomber forced to abandon his natural. It looks like, although he might just be able to clean this up, but loses 4 SCVs, loses a lot of bio to DongRaeGu, who just trades out there with those units he invested in. And yeah, catching Bomber off guard like that was nice. Getting 4 SCVs. Bomber gonna have this third command center up. He's got these Marines. He's got to be careful though, fighting back versus these Marines. But this is not what you want to be doing if you're a Terran player who took a blow to your economy already. Bomber just microing with these Marines. DongRaeGu not committing any more to the aggression. And Bomber's gonna have Stim. He's gonna have 1-1 on the way already. I think if we see another barracks on the way, that would be very important for him. Getting up another barracks. There we go. Will we see a factory and a starport soon? We should do. Well, he's got the factory. We need to see the starport. And then Bomber will be able to move out with bio eventually. But DongRaeGu has been trying his best to hamper him. And DRG, I mean, getting up his third base, droning up. He's already at 48 workers. So while he committed early on, he hasn't taken too much aggression or anything. As a result, DongRaeGu's been able to get his economy on track. Kurosabal kills off that SCV. Bomber does have Stim now. He's got a tank out. He's got combat shield on the way, and he's going to have 1-1. So he may be able to hit a pretty nice timing here versus the Zerg player. The concern is the lack of medivacs in a push like this. The combat shield, if that gets out, I think Bomber's army is going to be pretty tough. But without it, it's kind of rough. And keep in mind, guys, the second Bomber lost his command center, he started up another. He was like, right, I'm not just going to panic and counter all in or anything. He's getting up his own third CC, so his situation isn't completely dire or anything like that. But DongRaeGu really turning this into a more straight-up game, as he has had the opportunity to macro up. 1-1 finishes up for Bomber, who's now moving across the map. DongRaeGu, none of his upgrades are done just yet. Bomber's going to have combat shield. If he can get in before the 1-1 of DongRaeGu. Bomber will be able to hit a very nice timing, and he's going to be coming behind these rocks. 1-1 is about 14 seconds away from DongRaeGu. Bomber can just take a fight. Combat shield is now done. This could be huge for the Terran player. He's got a kite back to him. He's actually overextended here. There's Banelings out, but Bomber may just be able to snipe those off, and he does. These Marines are stimming forward right now, putting out a lot of damage. Is he just going to be able to kill DongRaeGu here? So he's slaughtering a fair few drones now. There's not much left for DongRaeGu. The tanks are still set up there. And the third base for DongRaeGu's in trouble. Yeah, GG. Bomber puts another one on the board. Just like that. Okay. DongRaeGu was pretty all in and not able to muster a defense. That was just sudden. Very, very sudden. Seeing some viewers have been using the Matcherino sponsored quest, guys, and that'll like if you guys do the sponsored quests on Matcherino, basically if you have like a Twitter account, you follow some channels or some like accounts on Twitter, and you add to the prize pool for free. And you can add like a buck $1.50 to the prize pool. So make sure to check out that exclamation mark Matcherino, because we also have those codes to use. And also feel free to check me out at exclamation mark caster. I have Twitter. I tweet out about the events and such I'm casting. I tweet, and then of course all my VODs and videos on YouTube that I put up. Alright, the map is lost and found though. One of the older maps is it is a best of 9, and so of course we can't just use all the ladder maps because there's not 9 of them. Vegas donated $3. Thank you very much, sir. Pretty much anything goes towards show matches at some point, so I really appreciate that. But we are loading into the next game. Yeah, thanks so much for supporting the channel. Banana Warrior, who won the last map? Bomber took the last map, tying thing or putting another one on the board. So we've got ourselves a 3-2 series. This one's close. I'm glad it's shaping out like this. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's DongRaeGu. And spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map, it's Bomber. A significant chunk of change is on the line for this show match, guys. I want to say, hold on, a big shout-out to... Give me a second. It was DSK is his username. The guy added 100 quid to the prize pool. That's 100 pounds for those of you that don't know, which is like 125 bucks. So a big thanks to him, really making the players want to play hard for it. And this match has been great. But all right. So, some standard openings coming out of these guys. All right. Hatchery on the way. Reaper on the way. Standard, standard, standard. I mean, you gotta respect Bomber. That's one of the things that you always liked about watching him play. It's like, alright, Terrans are getting blink all into every game by Protoss. Bomber's gonna 3cc, doesn't matter. Scared of Zerg tech into Ultras? Bomber's gonna 3cc, doesn't matter. And then he still just goes ham with his bio. DongRaeGu, on the other hand, like, his defense and counterattacks has been relentless, but Bomber in this series has been seemingly shaping up. Like, the first game was a bit of a slaughter as far as DongRaeGu goes. He just counterattacked, killed Bomber. But after that, it wasn't as easy for DongRaeGu, but he still got himself a nice lead in this series. It's a best of 9, so DongRaeGu needs to win 2 more. Bomber needs to win 3 more. And that's the nice thing about these best of 9s. Like, they go the distance. Tech Lab is on the way for Bomber. Getting a starport. We'll see if he goes for a Banshee or something this time. DongRaeGu, in some of the games, he's gone for Pneumatized Carapace, but not going for it this time. Reaper for Bomber, going to confirm the 3rd base and then get on out. DongRaeGu getting up his Roach Warren. This is more or less the safety Roach Warren if I had to guess. It's around 35 drones, and that's what he did in the other game. No crazy all-in or anything like that. Although I guess saying the other game isn't too specific when we're in game number 6 of a best of 9. But, alright, Bomber, he's going to be going for this Hellion Banshee play, pardon me. Hellions are actually just going to dive right on in. He's hoping that DongRaeGu cut on his units, and he actually did a little bit. There's only 2 lings here, so these Hellions are getting on in uncontested. Only just the Queens to deal with this. Bomber hopefully gets some good shots up, kills up 4 drones, and gets on out. Not as many as he maybe would have liked, but still 4 drones for a Hellion. 2 other Hellions are bruised on up, but as long as Bomber keeps those alive, I mean, he can maybe fix them up. But DongRaeGu already planning a counterattack, the Madman. But Bomber, he's going to have his wall up, and then he's going to be counterattacking with Hellbats. So, like, DongRaeGu, I don't know if he's committing too much to this. There are Roaches out, though. And Roaches are pretty darn good versus Hellbats. So we'll see if Bomber's able to make this attack happen. And the 3rd command center actually gets killed off by DongRaeGu, who's in the natural base of Bomber. The Hellbats are attacking on the front, but it doesn't look like there's going to be enough. So Bomber's in a lot of trouble now. He's losing so many SCVs. Alright, that was that. GG, DongRaeGu takes himself to 4-2 lead. Like that. Okay, well that was quick. But the match isn't over just yet. It's a best of 9. DongRaeGu needs to take 1 more. The map will be Blue Shift. If you guys are enjoying this show match, make sure to hit that follow button. And check me out everywhere. We'll get everyone on into the game. This show match really is delivering, though. Like, the nightmare for a show match, it's like, alright, did a show match, it was over in an hour, there were 6 proxies, and someone 5-0'd. Although, but that math doesn't quite add up. But you guys know what I mean. But this is a great match. We've had some great games. Even if DongRaeGu does manage to close it out a little bit early, I mean, yeah, it's just great to see Bomber and DongRaeGu play. Okay, it's a best of 9. He's down 2-4. It's Bomber. And spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map, it's DongRaeGu. Yeah, DongRaeGu has been, he's been looking pretty darn solid. And then just that counterattack, like his counterattacks have been on point. I'm excited to see him play in like professional matches, like a professional TVZ. That would be great to see. But oh, speaking of proxies, Bomber doubling down. He's going to flip that coin. Go big or go home. Proxying to the north here. Trying to avoid this Overlord, and he will be doing just that. A double proxy barracks. So far, DongRaeGu unknowing about this proxy. And we'll see how well Bomber's going to be able to micro this. He charges right on in with the SCV, and this really will give it away. Because just the direction. DongRaeGu's got to be like, wait, why is there an SCV but I didn't see it with my Overlord? There's the bunker already building, so the cat's out of the bag on this one. How is DongRaeGu going to react? Not pulling the drones just yet. Another SCV's moving forward to see the reaction from DongRaeGu, and he's not pulling the drones at all, so Bomber's probably going to be able to get up this bunker, and this is a little bit concerning for the Zerg player. There's actually, there's 4 lings on the way, but with the bunker getting up, Bomber can probably get an SCV down here and start another bunker as well. Just may as well raid it with Bomber, I think. Yeah, I'd like to see another bunker go up before that creep really extends. Because DongRaeGu, he's not playing like the full drones and try and shut this down game. He's just going for lings, going for a Roach Warren behind this. Or did he actually cancel his Roach Warren? Okay, he canceled his Roach Warren. But look at this, yeah, DongRaeGu, he realizes that Bomber's actually neglecting to start another bunker. He's just going to try and break this with lings and drones. And Bomber, yeah, I mean, he's tucking his SCVs in here, so they're going to be able to repair the bunker. They're going to need to repair that bunker. Lings are coming forward, drones are coming off the line. The Marines are putting out a lot of damage. Can Bomber get out enough damage here? Those Marines are going to need to abandon ship as they pull back. Drones are starting to fall. Bomber's fighting back, but DongRaeGu seems to have held and pushed Bomber back. And I think that was partially because Bomber didn't get up another bunker. He's starting a bunker back at home. Starts up a command center, but that attack didn't get done what he needed. He almost killed the base, but not quite. He killed off 6 drones, which is a pretty decent amount, but now Bomber's got to get home with these Marines to make sure that he gets inside of his bunker. And, I mean, that was a bit of a gamble for Bomber. The 6 drones is why it's not a terrible spot. DongRaeGu has to drone up a fair bit before they're even on workers. And, of course, Bomber getting up his command center. He's got up even a factory with a tech lab. I wonder what that's going to be for, as he has a starport on the way. Now, Bomber with that bunker. Gonna be safe from most of these lings and whatnot, but DongRaeGu just taking up a 3rd base from the looks of it. And Bomber, he's got 500 minerals. Is he gonna build another command center or something? Okay, it's gonna be a cloak Banshee from Bomber. Orbital command starting. So, I mean, we could be seeing this go into a normal macro game. DongRaeGu, he's got to get up his worker count a bit more, but Bomber hasn't secured his natural yet. Okay, Bomber cancels an add-on. Floats his barracks over. Now we're gonna be floating his command center down, but there we go. He's just going into that 3rd CC. Banshee's moving across the map. Gonna run into these lings though, so DongRaeGu fully aware of this, having to invest in those spore crawlers. Bomber secures his natural. Gonna be able to transfer SCVs there right away as he's just getting into his bio production. Bomber is fearless when he's like, yeah, I'll build a 3rd CC. We can make this work. Now his Banshee's flying in, there's no spore crawler at that 3rd base just yet. So DongRaeGu's investing in a lot of these, and I mean, building this many spores does hurt your economy. Bomber pops on in with the Banshee, but DongRaeGu with the 2 queens should be prepared. That Banshee's got to get on back there. I think he may just be best off working away on the spore crawler. Oh, there's a drone there that you can probably get, but not focusing on that. Bomber going to be able to deny that spore crawler, but an Overseer is going to be coming on in. That Banshee going to pop off 2 more drones, but in the end will go down. So 3 drones for a Cloak Banshee, not really worth it for Bomber. However, he does have his extra command center finished up. He's got his 1-1. Bomber is just so greedy. I just love to see this coming from a Terran player, building up his bio count. Whereas DongRaeGu droning on up. A Banshee comes on in here. Another Banshee. Gonna get a creep tumor. This Banshee's hanging around by the ramp, maybe waiting for a transferring drone or something like that. But in the end, gonna run out of energy, has to retreat. And Bomber, I mean, it's all on the line in this game. Bomber's gonna be moving across the map. He doesn't even have any medivacs on the way. He's got a starport done, but no medivacs in production, and he's just gonna be going for a push. This is pretty ballsy from Bomber, but hoping that this timing is gonna work out, and here he comes on in. He's got stim, no combat shield, no 1-1 just yet, versus a Zerg who's gonna have centrifugal hook banelings. This is a pretty big commitment from Bomber. He's moving forward, he's stimming forward, but there's gonna be a good number of banelings. He's gonna need perfect splits or perfect kitebacks, and he's having to run off creep to avoid these banelings. Bomber's gonna need to split to the best of his ability. He's doing just that, but his Marines are over stimmed. There's no medivacs to save them, so Bombers have to kite back, sniping down the banelings though, and it's working. So just forces DongRaeGu's hand a little bit. He has to make a fair few units, and Bomber will now have some medivacs, is gonna have 1-1. And can now maybe go in for that again. That was a little bit risky, but DongRaeGu actually may be planning a bit of counter aggression as Bomber sees that. DongRaeGu, there we go, getting some lings moving across the map. He's just been so continuous with his counterattacks. And Bomber's got his 2-2 on the way, so wanting to continue his upgrade lead. But with all of these lings, he's been looking pretty good. Bomber, I mean, he's just been producing Marines this game, by the way, guys. Like, there is 38 Marines and 4 medivacs. And this always makes you nervous when a Zerg like DongRaeGu has built up 21 banelings already versus 38 Marines. So just Bomber's supply count, not that great from the seam of things. He's now producing more and more, going to be going out for a double medivac drop. Few Marines are moving across the map for Bomber. I'm not sure where they're heading, but DongRaeGu is already planning a counterattack. And here comes in Bomber heading towards that location. We're going to have to evacuate out. He loads on up, boosts away. And Bomber just backing up for now as DongRaeGu gets into infestors, gets up a hive. He got that infestation pit. Looking at this wall from Bomber, I mean, you gotta give it to him. The Great Wall of Supply Depots. He's very, very fed up with DongRaeGu's counterattacks, but these lings and banelings are gonna roll on by. Bomber's in position. He's actually just gonna grind up all of these lings. That went pretty well for him. DongRaeGu is hitting the other location as this is going on, though. Supply-wise, Bomber's up. There's no doubt about that. The wall is gonna be getting finished. This is one heck of a wall. Bomber is having none of it. He says, no, keep those lings out of here. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets building armor just to make sure that, you know, these lings are safe. Or that these depots are safe from lings. Now, sensor tower on the way. Finishes up. Bomber's playing it safe, but now he's going to be looking to put the aggression onto DongRaeGu. DongRaeGu's getting burrow on the way, but it's not really going to be done in time. Bomber's stepping onto creep now. Tanks are rolling forward. Scan as he pushes in. Now, what does DongRaeGu have to hold? He's got three Vipers, 2 Infestors. These Infestors are going to need some good fungals, but when there's tanks, it's never easy. And creep is clearing. Bomber's rolling forward with his tanks now. And DongRaeGu's got to deal with this. there's a counterattack going, but I mean, the Great Wall of Bombers there to stop it. Units are just rallying behind it. This push is looking pretty strong for Bomber. He's actually on the Evo chambers, so DongRaeGu's got to commit to try and save this, try and buy time. Bomber stepping forward. He's actually going to pick off one of the Evos, so there's no +2 attack for DongRaeGu. There's going to be no +2 armor either. It looks like DongRaeGu is just committing into this attack. Bomber's fighting back, splitting his Marines. The Medibacks are going to have to try and split up and not go down there, but Bomber will be pushed back in the end. It looks like it costs DongRaeGu a fair bit, and suddenly the counterattack for DongRaeGu is actually looking pretty good, but Bomber, with plenty of supply retreating back home, is going to be able to deal with this, and he seems to be keeping the dream alive. DongRaeGu being a nuisance, burrowing his lings there, so he's going to need to scan to clean those up. There's still some more lings hanging around there. Bomber tries to get his wall back on track, but the fact that he canceled the 2-2 is absolutely massive. He's got an upgrade lead. He's going to have 3-3 versus 1-1 Zerg. There will be ultras for DongRaeGu, but even the ultras versus +3, it's not going to be that fantastic. Now, Bomber's getting up a 4th command center. There's those lings, they're unburrowing. They will get cleaned up this time, so Bomber no longer needs to worry about those, and he's up on supply. There's no doubt about it. This is looking tough for DRG, as Bomber's rolling forward once more. The 4 ultras that are going to pop out are going to have a lot of work to do. But Bomber, he's going to have 3-3 soon. He's about 15 seconds off. DRG restarts his 2-2, but that's a long way away from helping him. And as Bomber rolls forward with all this bio, like, even the Marines aren't going to be too bad versus the Ultras. Now, here we go. The Marines setting sights on this hatchery. DongRaeGu's got to fight now or never, so he's pulling the trigger on it. He's stepping forward. Bomber's fighting back with all of his Marines, but these Ultras, can they last versus this superior bio? The bio's now fighting back nonstop. There's just a couple Ultras left, but it looks like that Bomber's going to have enough. He's going to be able to put another one on the board and extend this series a little bit longer. Ultras are just going to get gunned down by all the Marines. It's not every day you see that happen, but with 3-3 versus 1-1, anything is possible. Bomber able to make it happen. GG. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. But we are not done just yet. And we'll find out what the next map is. We're going to be running out of those. I mean, there's only 2 more potential maps. But this series, it's been a great one so far. As this goes on, make sure to check out that exclamation mark Matcherino, guys. The next map will be Stasis. So if you haven't already, guys, make sure to check out that Matcherino. You can literally add free money to the prize pool for clicking. If you're a Starcraft fan, it's a pretty cool thing to do. You just type in, go to Matcherino, type in games number 13. And you add 50 cents to the prize pool just like that. Of course, you guys can also check me out on Twitter. I tweet out about, it's literally just a Starcraft Twitter. That's all there is to it. And no, this show match, it's a pretty exciting one. I just realized that I never tweeted out about this show match, so that's a pretty big ball drop. Or no, I must have, because Bomber retweeted it. Okay, I did. Never mind, we're good. All right, looks like everyone's ready, so we'll get into the next map. VOD will be up on YouTube, of course, if you guys are just tuning in and want to see the whole thing, but I'm excited to see how the finals of this is going to play out. We're loading into the next map. All right, we've got ourselves a best of 9. Hold on, there we go. Spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map. He's not going down just yet. It's Bomber. And spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. It's DongRaeGu. A lot of fans for these 2 players. There's no doubt about it. They're some of the greats. Overlord gonna be crossing the map. Gonna run into that wall though. That's not gonna be a pleasant feeling for him. Okay, now Bomber just opening up pretty standard here, whereas DongRaeGu is as well. The map stasis is an interesting one, but I think that it's probably a bit better for DongRaeGu because, I mean, there's just really the one narrow choke point, and I'm not sure how good that is for mid-game pushes versus Zerg like Bomber goes for, because there's all the ramps like here and here that Bomber can, or that DongRaeGu will be able to do. He'll be able to run Lings out sort of into the deep of this map and go for big surrounds and whatnot. If we reach that point, who even knows? But this has been a fantastic series. Thanks so much to everyone who's been tuning on in. Okay. Factory on the way for Bomber, getting up a reactor. He has his Reaper out. He sort of made the adjustment that in the first game or two, he just went right across the map with the Reaper. Now he has not been doing that. He's meticulously checking everything out. Making sure that no sneaky Lings get across, get into his natural, and mess with him. Metabolic boost on the way. Reactor on the way as well. So Bomber gonna be able to get to that Hellion production, get his starport on the way. And I mean, he's got his distinct style in which he'll go 3CC in most cases and just macro up and play bio. That's how Bomber won championships, and a lot of money, guys, by spamming on with that. Reaper parks himself at this LaughNgamez watchtower, just gonna have that vision. DongRaeGu's already working on his rocks, so maybe a little bit afraid of a tank push. Wouldn't put it past Bomber, that's for sure. Bomber starts a Viking, but then he cancels it, and oh boy, here we go. Bomber going for a fusion core. So, okay, apparently he's been paying a bit of attention to the meta lately. We're gonna be seeing a battlecruiser rush when when your opponent's on match point. That's one way to try and bring it back. I'm just loving how this series is going. There's a lot of craziness going on here. Now Bomber moving in with his Hellions. He's got them to dissuade the Lings of DongRaeGu. And DongRaeGu just has been so active with his Lings, by the way. I mean, he's made 22 already. That's no small amount this early on. Third hatchery is up for DongRaeGu. He's even getting up a Baneling nest, though. So it's possible we could be seeing a bit of aggression coming out of the Zerg player. He's still mining gas, and that's going to allow him to make a few Banelings. More Lings on the production tab. DongRaeGu is going to be looking to pull a quick one on Bomber, who's got his third CC on the way. He's got a battlecruiser building. It's going to be about another 30 seconds or so, though. And is it going to be enough to stop these Lings? The Hellions are moving out on the map for Bomber, but this is going to give the Lings the all clear to counterattack. These Queens are going to come on in, but DongRaeGu is going to be hitting this command center, and is Bomber going to be able to get his Hellions back in time? What can he really do? He can't repair this command center since it's just building. He can repair the depots, but the command center is going to be forced to be cancelled. Bomber, he's trying to get his Hellions back in time. DongRaeGu is just droning up behind this, so this isn't a big commitment, but he's just looking to get this command center, and it looks like he will be able to. A very nice cancel for the Zerg player. The Hellions will come back in order to try and clean up these Lings, which they should be able to. Although more Lings are actually getting in here. Bomber's Hellions are getting surrounded, so he's actually going to be in a fair bit of trouble now. And this battlecruiser will end up being able to clean everything up from the seam of things, but still losing all those Hellions is not a comfortable feeling for Bomber. He's losing some SCVs as SCVs have to run around while they deal with these Lings, and Bomber's going to need to start his third command center again ASAP. But there we go, that BC, it disappeared, so I imagine it's somewhere. Where'd it go? There we go, it teleported at the back here. DongRaeGu has to deal with this battlecruiser coming in. Gonna be picking off a spore crawler. And we'll see what it's able to get done. Bomber never went for Yamato cannon, so it's literally just this one BC he's committed to. He's got Stim and 1-1 on the way behind this. Now, keep in mind his third command center was delayed, so that definitely hurt him. But we'll see this BC just hanging around being a nuisance, distracting DongRaeGu from his macro priorities. A Baneling nest is on the way for DongRaeGu, but I swear he already built one. So that's a bit of a mistake there. As he was probably considering a Baneling bus for a time. So that's a small mistake by DongRaeGu. Not surprising being thrown off by a battle cruiser though. Bomber's getting his armory on the way. He's gonna have his 1-1 done. And Bomber, he just doesn't skip a beat with his macro. His third command center was delayed. Bomber teleports the BC over to the front to clean up some creep. Just hanging around. DongRaeGu gonna be playing the Muta style once again on this map. I mean, there's not that much dead space, like the Mutas really have the choice. They have to come into the natural. And a few turrets can really shut that down. Unless they manage to loop around, but then still, the Terran can just park his army to intercept, so Mutas are an interesting choice, maybe just more of a defensive choice for DongRaeGu. But Bomber already starting his +2 armor. We'll see if he starts his +2 attack. DongRaeGu making a few Banelings, getting his 1-1 on the way. No +2 attack yet for Bomber. Usually it is the +2 attack that gets started before the +2 armor. But I imagine he'll start that when he has money if he remembers, but that's not something that you want to forget if you're Bomber. No +2 on the way just yet. DongRaeGu once again with his planned counterattacks. Bomber starting drilling claws. But it's still rather concerning for the Terran player, the lack of +2 attack. Where DongRaeGu already has his 2-2 on the way, so in Ascendancy he's going to be heading towards an upgrade lead if Bomber never starts that. Marine drops moving forward for Bomber, actually going to nab up a Queen. It looks like actually gets 2, needs to get out of there though, eats a few Banelings, so a few Marines for 2 Queens. And defends DongRaeGu's own counterattack, but Bomber, I mean, there's still no +2 attack. This is a pretty big mistake. I mean, you can't go for a 2-2 timing if you forgot half of 2-2. Medivac's boosting away. There we go, +2 starts for Bomber, the attack, but it's definitely delayed. Bomber going for a bit of a drop, cleaning up some creep, picks off a Queen or 2, but these Mutas are going to be able to shut that down. That's the defensive strength of the Mutas. They can just pop off all the Medivacs, so Bomber losing that. He's got his +2 armor, but no +2 attack, unfortunately for him. However, he's still built up quite an army. He's going to be crossing the map. Scan goes down as Bomber is now stepping onto creep. Got to be very careful when doing this. We're also seeing a counterattack going down from DongRaeGu, going to be getting in towards this third base. Picks off a tank. Bomber, as long as he micros these units, should be able to deal with it without losing too much. However, there's a big fight going on at the front. Bomber burrowing his mines as he's retreating back now. Widow mines are going to be getting shots off. They get decent connections, and Bomber fighting from the high ground there. I mean, he has the high ground. Now, Ling's streaming into the third base still, though they're not cleaned up just yet. No, Bomber EQs some Marines in, but he's losing SCVs as this is going on. This is going to be hurting his economy. He's got a fourth base on the way. It's not like he's completely all in this sense, but DongRaeGu's still rolling forward. Once more, Bomber's got a lot of bio that isn't fighting in this. That battlecruiser teleports away randomly. Now, this third base, though, SCVs, 14 died in total. And Bomber still wants to continue on with this push. But DongRaeGu, I mean, not taking the worst trades in the world there. Another Ling counterattack being planned for DongRaeGu. Bomber moving in onto creep once more. DongRaeGu's had himself a big creep buffer, so it's taken Bomber a long time before he can really get to a threatening spot onto the Zerg player. He's cleaning up a lot more creep, but DongRaeGu, I mean, he's got 20 Banelings, he's got 19 more on the way. He may just be a wave of Zerg that crashes into the Terran, and we'll see if Bomber really has enough to stop that. A lot of these Banelings were morphed actually aggressively, so 20 Banelings are going to be looking to crash into this planetary. And I think it's something like 20 plus Banelings to actually kill off a planetary. Now, here we go. DongRaeGu coming in towards Bomber's fourth base. He just crashes into that planetary, and he will actually be able to fall it. SCVs are running. Does DongRaeGu get the connections? He kills off 4 SCVs, but picking off that planetary is a big move. Bomber is starting up another command center. 2 more, actually, but that's going to hurt his economy for now, and DongRaeGu is buying himself a lot of time, and he's actually choosing to go Broodlords. He's gone Ultralisks every game. This is the first time that DongRaeGu is planning on going into this. Bomber's stepping forward. I mean, he still has time to make a bio push happen, but it is rather concerning that Broodlords are going to be in the near future. And DongRaeGu just continuous with his counterattacks. Look at this. I mean, he didn't find success for a while, but he's really finding success in this game, killing off another 5 SCVs. Bomber's stepping forward, though, onto creep. Superior army supply. He's got an upgrade lead as he's got his +3 armor done already. Now, DongRaeGu is going to be engaging into Bomber, though. These Marines are having to kite back versus all of these Banelings. Not getting too much done versus this army of Bomber. Bomber is stepping onto creep, though. You got to be so careful when doing this. All it takes is a few good Baneling connections, and DongRaeGu may be able to clean up this army and take this game. We'll see. Bomber's up on supply, though. He's pushing on in. DongRaeGu's trying to squeeze out Corruptors as this goes on. He's still got to focus on just surviving this attack that's coming his way, though. No more counterattacks have been queued up. However, as I say that, these Lings run by. Bomber knows that this one's coming, though, so he should be getting prepared for this, but there's really nothing here to deal with this. Bomber's so committed into this attack. He knows that he needs to do something to the Zerg players sooner rather than later. He's stepping forward. He's splitting up his bio. DongRaeGu's actually just abandoning ship, probably waiting till he can try and get out some Broodlords. Does he have enough to clean up this army, though? Bomber has an absolute ton of bio. There's a massive counterattack going on, though, and Bomber's production may just be getting ransacked. He's producing out a few Marines. Needs to deal with these Lings, so he kills off one of the bases of the Zerg player, though. He's getting another one of these bases to the north, so Bomber, I mean, he's pushing, he's making it happen. He's taking a lot of damage back at home as this is going on, but 5 Broodlords are morphing. Bomber's bio is very stim. He's kiting back, though, but he manages to deal with most of the Banelings there, so there's nothing else to really stop him. Bomber stepping forward with this bio. There's 5 Broodlords on the way, but DongRaeGu's taking a lot of damage. Bomber has managed to clean up the counterattack. Looks like Bomber lost to CC, though. He lost his third, so he has to float that over, so his own economy is not too good. He's going to just start picking off bases here, and suddenly has to deal with a lot of Broodlords. He's really crippled the economy of DongRaeGu, but his own is not too great. Now, Bomber may just need to abandon ship. He's killing off a ton of SCVs. One Ling is being a pain in the main base of Bomber. He's going to clean that up, and it looks like Bomber's just going to retreat right now with a massive army supply lead. It's basically 32 Marines to 5 Broodlords. And this is an odd situation for DongRaeGu. I mean, he's got the units that really are what Zerg wants at the end of a game, but if you just have the Broodlords, after all the bases have been cleared, DongRaeGu is going to try and expand to the gold base, whereas Bomber still has his bio out on the map. And Bomber, I mean, he really just needs to make like 2 Vikings and he'll clean this up, because there's no anti-air for DongRaeGu, right? But instead it looks like Bomber's hoping just to nab onto these Broodlords, and he's going to be going for it. Stepping forward, going to try and stim underneath this. Got to be careful to avoid the Banelings, though. Going to manage to take care of them, and he's still stepping forward. There's the Banelings. They roll forward. They all get target fired down. Bomber ties things up. We're going to a final match. GG. That was a very crazy game. And we're heading into game number 9 of this show match. So very well played. Some were wondering whether this series would go the distance, and it definitely is, which is awesome to see. Now, final map is going to be Acid Plant. And what a great show match. All right. Awesome that this is going to game number 9. If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to hit that follow button. And check me out at !caster. But the fact that we've got an ace match coming is so sick. All right, final match here. Still got a few Matcherino codes, I believe, guys, and as it's the final match, let's see if we can try and use up most of those. So, okay, let me just, okay, how about I just pull this up really quickly?
Baby, you got a series going. Thanks for organizing. Perfect way to spend a Saturday morning.
Okay, hold on. All right, here we are. So let's see, it's one of these. There we go. Okay, so just before we get into the final match, guys, I've been hammering it on again and again as this tournament goes on, but basically, this is Matcherino. This is how we fund the events. You guys have been awesome for this one, by the way, but basically all you do is you click sign in, click Twitch, then you're logged in, and literally all you have to do to help us use these codes is just type in games13, click contribute, and you can also check out these sponsored quests. You literally just like click on one of these Twitter links if you have a Twitter account and you follow literally Starcraft or related things, so if you're watching this, you're probably fine with that, and it's a great way to support the event. But enough of that. Let's get back into the match. All right, and also Ragmuffin donated. Oh, awesome, guys. Thanks so much. Dr. Science Bear donates $5. Baby, you got a series going. Thanks for organizing this. A perfect way to spend a Saturday morning. And Ragmuffin, thanks for organizing this best of 9, donates $10. Thank you very much. And both players are ready. So let's close this one out. Thanks so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. All right, it's a best of 9. And it's what you want for every series, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. It's DongRaeGu. And spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. It's Bomber. What more can you want from a series? Going to the final map. But only one of them can take it. Proxy time, I'm seeing in chat. You never know. I wouldn't put it past either of them. Now, the map is Acid Plant, so it's also one of these older maps. And, I mean, the plays from these guys have actually just been really awesome. Like, this is why you want 2 older players in, because, like, they just play so straight up, and it's awesome to see just Bomber spamming bio, hitting bases, and DongRaeGu just trying to hold on, just spreading creep like no other, going for continuous lane counter harassment. And yeah, we'll see. Acid Plant, it is a bit more of a defensive map, but of course tank pushes are a very real thing because of all these sort of choke points. We'll see if Bomber's thinking of something like that. And who knows, maybe DongRaeGu will try and put on the aggression. All right. Reaper on the way. For Bomber, standard stuff. And DongRaeGu just playing standard, so we'll see if we have another one of those long macro games. But every game has been so close. Like, DongRaeGu, say he has another 30 seconds, he gets up another round of Banelings, and he shuts down Bomber's Bio Army in that last game. They have all been such crazy matches. Third hatchery getting up for DongRaeGu. Starting that at a pretty standard time. Bomber just getting up his reactor, keeping his Reaper at home. He really made that adjustment in this series. He has just been very safe. Butterscott saying that he got here late. Feels bad, man. I mean, it's been a fantastic series. I mean, the VOD will be up on my YouTube relatively soon, so make sure to check that out. As there's a lot of VODs from a lot of other show matches going on there. As far as this one goes, Bomber getting up at Starport. Going to be producing Hellions consistently. And I mean, he seems to be happy with how he's been opening up. That Reaper's scouting out the third base. Acid Plant, not the best map for Reapers. No cliffs or anything really to jump on in. DongRaeGu once again getting that Roach Horn. It's a little bit earlier than before this game. Now, Bomber. Liberator on the way. Hellions on the way. A lot of fans for both of these guys in chat. DongRaeGu already planning, having some Lings waiting out for Bomber to move out. He is just so relentless with this. He just loves dismantling Terrans, it seems. Now, Bomber, wouldn't put it past him to throw up a third CC in this wall relatively soon, but for now he's getting Stim, still producing Hellions. So just going up to the standard 6, it looks like, getting up his Liberator, and then moving out. There's that command center on the way up. DongRaeGu waiting, though, just with these Lings. Where's that Marine? There's the one Marine for Bombers going to head on down here, but there we go. The Zerg player being a pain. However, it is just 4 Lings, so this Marine should be able to shut that down, and now Bomber's moving on in with these Hellions. Is he going to be looking for drones? There's no drones at the third base, though, so he sort of just drives on by. Another opportunity for damage, though, is this Liberator that's going to be heading towards the natural. And I mean, Liberators on Acid Plant are pretty decent. It's going to be getting set up at this natural. Hellions are still hanging around. Are they going to try and dive on in? Yes, they are. Bomber is going for it. Just trying to get on in. Drones are actually pulled into this natural as they were trying to get away from the Liberator, so 7 of them are going to go down. 8 of them are going to go down. This Liberator is also repositioning, looking for some more damage being done. However, DongRaeGu just counterattacking right now. He's getting up some Ravagers. This is looking very Game 1-esque. Liberator's going to pick off another drone or two, but Bomber, he's still going to have to hold his attack off. The command center's already injured a little bit. Bomber's already queuing up another SCV to make sure that he tries to get that up. DongRaeGu could maybe cancel it, but he's not working away on that. Bomber's going to try and repair his supply depots, needs to get that CC up, and he manages to, but Lings and Roaches are now going to try and break it. DongRaeGu's going to be going for it. Lots of Lings waiting outside. That Bomber's desperately trying to hold on, needs to get SCVs to pull and repair this bunker. Lings are flooded on in, Corrosive Vials are being dropped down, SCVs are going to be falling, 15 so far. Can Bomber hold on, though, is the question. These bunkers are under fire. There's a tank on the high ground that's going to be able to get set up, but does Bomber have enough? It doesn't look like it. DongRaeGu's crashing forward. He's got the 3 CCs, but can he stay alive? These Ravagers, the Lings actually get on in on top of the tank. GG. DongRaeGu manages to take it. Very, very well played. All right, yeah. I mean, fantastically played by those guys, but GG gets called. Okay, so we have our victor. DongRaeGu manages to take it 5-4. It was a close series. Going for some crazy aggression there in the end, but making it work. Bomber, I mean, he almost made the hold there, I'd say, but just DongRaeGu hit a little bit too strong. And, thanks so much to everyone for tuning in. This has been an awesome show match. Over 500 of you guys watching. And lots of support, and you guys really enjoyed the games and whatnot. Of course, I'm not sure if we've used all the codes, but make sure to check out that !match. You can contribute to the event. Grab the replays if you want by supporting there. But thanks so much for helping us use those. And of course, if you guys did enjoy this show match, make sure to hit the follow button on this stream, as I'll be casting more Starcraft at some point. And also check me out at !Caster. I got a Twitter, I got a YouTube. The VOD will be up on YouTube if you just tuned on in. And thanks so much. Thanks so much for supporting the stream and everything, guys. I do appreciate it. But yeah, that's it. This has probably been one of the last show matches that I'll do, as I'm going to be fairly busy and it's not really going to be feasible for me to keep putting on these events all the time. But a lot of support for this one, though, as yeah. Anyway, thanks so much to everyone for supporting here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.